She stepped into the forest thinking she was alone. By the third step, the birds went silent. By the seventh, she heard breathing that wasn't hers. And when she finally turned around, the footprints behind her were facing the wrong direction. Evelyn Cross parked her car at the edge of the forest just before dusk. The sky above was still blue, but the trees ahead swallowed light in a way that felt deliberate, as if they were waiting. She checked her phone. No signal. That part she expected. What unsettled her was the time. It had only been 10 minutes since she left the highway, yet the sun already sat low, stretched thin like it was trying to escape. She stepped past the rusted warning sign half buried in vines. The words were faded, but she could still make them out. Trail closed. Underneath, someone had scratched another message with something sharp. It watches. Evelyn exhaled and kept walking. She told herself she was here for answers. A year ago, her brother Jonah had disappeared somewhere in these woods. His last voicemail played in her mind on loop, his voice hushed, frantic, saying he felt like something was walking when he walked, stopping when he stopped. Everyone else called it paranoia. Evelyn called it unfinished. The forest thickened quickly. Trees grew too close together, their branches weaving overhead like ribs. The air smelled damp and old, not like rot, but like breath that had been held for too long. Her boots pressed into the soil, leaving clear footprints behind her. That's when the birds stopped. The silence didn't arrive naturally. It snapped into place, sudden and heavy, as if someone had thrown a blanket over the world. Evelyn slowed. Her heartbeat felt loud enough to echo. She turned her head slightly, listening. Crunch. She froze. Another step sounded behind her, too slow to be an animal, too careful. Hello? Her voice came out thin. Nothing answered. She turned around. The path behind her was empty. Trees stood motionless, innocent. But her footprints told a different story. Alongside her own were another set, bare, elongated, and slightly deeper, as if whoever made them carried more weight than a human should. They ended exactly where she stood. Evelyn stumbled back, breath sharp. The second set didn't retreat. They didn't advance. They waited. Her phone vibrated suddenly. She nearly dropped it. One notification, an audio file, from Jonah, time-stamped 1 minute ago. Her finger hovered, shaking. Then somewhere close, far too close, something exhaled. The audio began with static, then Jonah's breathing. Slow, controlled, too controlled. Evelyn, his voice whispered, like he was afraid sound itself could hear him. If you're listening to this, it means you're here now. Her stomach tightened. I thought it was following me, Jonah continued, but I was wrong. It doesn't follow. It reflects. A branch snapped nearby. Evelyn spun, scanning the trees. Shadows stretched strangely, bending in directions the light didn't justify. Jonah's voice went on. It learned me, my steps, my pauses, even my fear, and once it knew me well enough, it stopped pretending. Evelyn's breath fogged despite the mild air. She forced herself forward, faster now, the forest narrowing as if nudged inward by unseen hands. Each step echoed too clearly. Each movement felt observed from multiple angles. She passed an old campsite. Torn fabric hung from branches like molted skin. A backpack lay open, its contents neatly arranged in a circle. In the center sat a small voice recorder. She recognized the name scratched into the plastic. Mara Holt. Mara had vanished 5 years before Jonah. The recorder clicked on by itself. I thought it was my shadow, Mara's voice said calmly, until it stood still when I moved. Evelyn backed away. Her heel caught on something soft. She looked down. Another footprint. Fresh. But this one was hers. Except she hadn't stepped there yet. The forest began to feel wrong in deeper ways. Trees repeated. Rocks appeared twice. A fallen log she remembered stepping over was suddenly ahead of her again, unscuffed, untouched. Time folded subtly like a misremembered dream. Her phone buzzed again, another message from Jonah. "It doesn't want your body," he said. "It wants your place." Evelyn started running. The sound behind her matched perfectly, not chasing, mirroring. When she slowed, it slowed. When she stopped abruptly, it stopped. So close she felt warmth against her neck. She turned. Nothing. But her reflection stared back from the darkened glass of her phone screen, except it blinked a fraction too late, and it smiled when she didn't. Evelyn dropped the phone. The smile remained. It wasn't on the screen anymore. It was in the air, stretched across the darkness between the trees, a presence shaped like her, standing where shadows should not hold shape. Its movements lagged slightly like bad synchronization. She remembered Jonah's words. "It learned me." Her mind raced. If it copied, then maybe it could be confused. She walked backward suddenly. The thing hesitated. She raised her left hand. It raised its right. A mistake. Evelyn turned and sprinted off the path, plunging between trees, scraping arms and tearing fabric. The forest reacted violently. Branches snapped shut behind her. Roots rose like fingers. She burst into a clearing and stopped. Jonah stood there. He looked thinner, hollow-eyed, real. "Don't come closer," he said urgently. Relief and terror collided. "Jonah!" "It's not me you should be afraid of," he said. "It's what thinks it's you now." Behind her, footsteps approached, perfectly timed. Jonah backed away. "I stayed too long. It finished learning me. I can't leave anymore." "What do I do?" Evelyn cried. He looked at her with something like apology. "You don't escape it. You replace someone." The follower stepped into the clearing. It was her, flawless now. Jonah screamed, not in fear, but recognition, as the thing reached for him. His form flickered, collapsing inward like a reflection being erased. Silence followed. The clearing was empty, except for Evelyn. She waited. Nothing moved. No breath. No steps. The forest relaxed. Evelyn emerged from the forest at dawn. A ranger spotted her near the trailhead, barefoot, scratched, calm. She said she'd been lost overnight. When asked her name, she answered easily. "Evelyn Cross." The ranger nodded, unaware of the way she avoided reflective surfaces. Days later, the forest logged another disappearance. A woman matching Evelyn's description was reported missing by co-workers. Her car still sat at the edge of the woods. At night, in quiet rooms, Evelyn practiced walking, practiced pausing, practiced fear. Sometimes, when she passed mirrors, her reflection smiled a moment too late. And somewhere deep in the forest, something new began learning her steps.